A very good evening to all my lovely students. On behalf of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, we welcome you for today's session. I believe this is the second class of your new chapter that you have started, chapter number 9, Accounts of Companies. So welcome to the class, students. I hope you have revised what you have done in the previous class. Thank you, Soumya. Even I'm glad to see you all back in the class. Good evening, Almas. Good evening, Sunil Kumar. Good evening, Soumya. All right, let me see how many of you have joined. The others are still joining. So meanwhile, others are joining. Let's have a quick recap of what you have done so far. You have started with the chapter number 9, that is Accounts of Companies. So section 128 and 129, as per my understanding, you have completed. So who is going to tell me what does section 128 refers to? So let's have a quick discussion of the revision of the previous topics that you have done. So what does section 128 tells you about books of accounts? What is books of accounts? You have done the definition in chapter number 1, preliminary. What is the definition for books of accounts? So here we will be talking in this chapter in complete discussion about how the books are to be maintained, how the financial statements will be taken care of, how the board's report is being taken care of. All these points related to your topics will be studying in this chapter. So you have completed module 1 where we have discussed about companies formation, prospectus, everything. With the module 2, you have started with the management and administration, wherein we discussed in detail about how the registers are to be maintained, how the meetings will be called, AGM and EGM were being held. All those topics we have covered. After that, it was dividend. And now you have started with accounts. So now since we have learned how the meetings are going to be held, now we understand that what is going to be happening in this meeting. We have always been discussing that the accounts will be laid down in these kind of meetings. So what kind of accounts of companies? So all those books of accounts, financial statements, that is CFS, P&L, balance sheet, how they have been prepared. Now is the time to lay it down in front of the shareholders in the general meeting. So this chapter entirely relates about the topics, giving you an overview about how the financials are prepared, who is responsible for signing the financial statements. So this is your topic, accounts of companies, how the books of accounts will be prepared. Section 128 and 129 completely talks about the relevant books and papers, financial statements. So all these definitions you have already done in chapter number 1. And also in the previous class, you have understood section 128 and 129. So what is consolidated financial statements? If I ask you, just reply me in the chat box. Who is required to prepare consolidated financial statements? As per section 129, you have already done the discussion of consolidated financial statements. Yes, good, Sunil Kumar. Books of accounts for section 128. What about section 129? How the financial statements are to be prepared, accounting standards, schedule 3 to be followed. So we'll have a quick recap of 129 also, and then we will try to complete 129A, 130, 131, and 134. If time permits, we'll complete these small sections also. And in the next class, that is 4th of June, we will be completing complete discussion of section 132 and 133. And the major topic, that is CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. In fact, I would call section 135 is a complete entire chapter in itself. So that we'll be covering in the next class. And apart from these two major sections, we'll try to cover almost all the sections in today's class. So let's start with this note where you have ended. So this is complete section 128, which you have done. The books are to be maintained for 8 years and the fine and everything. And this is your financial statements, balance sheet, P&L, profit and loss account, cash flow statements, all these kind of things come under the definition of financial statements. Now, I was telling you that the financial statements have to be prepared according to the accounting standards. And schedule 3 needs to be followed in the prescribed form. At every general meeting, whatever financial statements you have prepared, it is not applicable to how many companies? To what all companies this provision is not applicable? To which all companies this provision of section 1? Children, please reply me in the chat box. I hope we have done section 129. Yes. Write good evening in the chat box. Those who are able to listen me clearly, type loud and clear in the chat box if my voice is clearly visible to you. Dormant company, small company. Okay, Sangeet Bani. Yes, Miss P. Good evening, children. Why nobody is responding? So few students. Okay, Anubhav. Good. Thank you, Sangeet Bani, to telling me that the voice is clear, ma'am. So why response is not coming? So which all companies it is not applicable? For the insurance companies, for the banking companies, because they are following the regulations of their insurance regulatory authority. So financial statements will not be treated as not disclosing true and fair view just because they do not disclose it. So in case of insurance company, banking companies, electricity company, these provisions are applicable differently. So at every annual general meeting of the company, board of directors will lay down these statements for the financial year if the company has one or more subsidiaries or associate companies. So you understand the definition of subsidiary companies, associate companies. If you're having one or more subsidiaries, then the financial, then you need to prepare CFS. CFS means Consolidated Financial Statements. मैंने अपनी कंपनी का तो प्रिपेयर कर ही दिया, but if I have a subsidiary, then I have to prepare the consolidate the financial statements and prepare a consolidated one together as per the accounting standards, and this will also be laid down in front of the annual general meeting in front of the shareholders. Now, how the consolidation has to be done as per schedule 3, I was telling you, and the accounting standards have to be followed. The preparation of CFS is not required to be done in the following cases. So have you done this topic? Have you done this topic, children? Where CFS is not required to be prepared? What are the 3 conditions to be fulfilled for the cases where CFS is not required? What are the 3 cases? What are the 3 conditions to be fulfilled? You have not done this one? All right, so let me teach you this one. So consolidated financial statements will not be required if 3 conditions are fulfilled. Number 1, if it is a wholly owned subsidiary or partly owned subsidiary of another company, and all the members have intimated in writing, means they have informed in writing that we do not have any objection if we are not preparing the CFS. Now, what is happening over here is, the company is saying that if you have a subsidiary, then you need to prepare a. Okay, Mohammed Farhan, Ms. P, thank you for confirming. I hope now it's clear. We are just doing this topic of consolidated financial statements now. So first point is consolidation has to be done as per the accounting standards and schedule 3. It is not required in the cases where accounting standards are not required, then you can simply follow schedule 3. So first 2 lines are very simple. Now we have to do a very important topic. Most of the time questions come related to the cases where consolidated financial statements is not required. So what are the cases where it is not required? 3 conditions needs to be fulfilled. Number 1, if you're a wholly owned subsidiary of another company and your members have agreed that, okay, fine, even if you're not preparing the financials, then also it's okay. So you are a company ABC Limited and you have a subsidiary PQ Limited. And it has a further subsidiary DE Limited. Now it says cases where PQ Limited will not make CFS. So this PQ Limited is subsidiary of ABC Limited. What did I say? PQ Limited is subsidiary of ABC Limited. Now law says PQ Limited is not required to prepare the consolidated financial statements. Number 1, if all the members of this company, if all the members agree that we have no objection and they are giving this no objection in writing. So सारे members PQ Limited के कहते हैं PQ Limited subsidiary है. पहला point clear है. If it is a wholly owned subsidiary or partly owned subsidiary of another company. So PQ Limited is a subsidiary of ABC Limited. So now PQ Limited will not be preparing its consolidated financial statements if all the members of PQ Limited says in writing that we have no objection that if our company is not preparing the consolidated financial statements. After that, let's go to the next points. What are the other two conditions to be fulfilled? If it is a company whose securities are not listed or they are not in the process of listing, whether inside or outside India. So this PQ Limited is not a listed company and neither it is in the process of getting itself listed. And its ultimate holding company. Who is the ultimate holding company? ABC Limited. ABC Limited files its consolidated financial statements as per the applicable accounting standard. So if ABC Limited is the holding company, it has a subsidiary PQ Limited. Now, this subsidiary company will not prepare the consolidated financial statement if number one, all the members give their consent in writing that they have no objection. Number two, this PQ Limited is not a listed company, neither in the process of listing. Number three, the ultimate holding company is preparing the CFS as per the applicable accounting standards. Clear? So the financial statements, it says these provisions are applicable to preparation, adoption, and audit of the statements of holding company. Mutatis mutandis will apply to CFS. So whatever you have understood in section 129 related to preparation of the financial statement, the same principles applicable to consolidated financial statements. So what are the three cases? Can anyone quickly write in the chat box, what are the three conditions needs to be fulfilled in order to be called a company, a subsidiary company? Quickly write the conditions in the chat box. Yes. Only 2 messages in the chat box. What are others doing? Okay, it takes time to write the 3 conditions. All right. Very good, Soumya. Very good, Pooja. Consent of members not listed on. Pooja, you're wrong. You have written listed on stock exchange. So securities should not be listed. Okay. Very good, Miss P. Very good, Sunil Kumar. No, not Sunil Kumar. Soumya. Wholly owned subsidiary, all the members give no objection. Very good. Securities are not listed. And the holding company is fine. Excellent. Excellent. All those who have answered, very nice. Almas, good. All right. Let's move ahead. So now next point is where the financial statements of the company do not tally with the accounting standards. So children, remember when we talk about day one definition of accounting standards, I told you section 133 again, we'll be discussing about accounting standards in this chapter. But you have been studying accounting standards in accounts also. Yes or no? All my students know what are AS? We have to prepare our financial statements as per accounting standards. Yes, we have different accounting standards for inventory, stock, depreciation, fixed assets. Am I right? Okay, good. Kirti, Pooja, Soumya, all of you. Nice. So now if you're not following the accounting standards, say for example, as per the accounting standards, written WDV method was to be followed for depreciation, WDV method. You understand what is WDV method, right? But instead of following WDV method, you have followed straight line method. Can I say that the company has deviated from the accounting standard? Accounting standard कुछ और कह रहा है और आपने कुछ और कर दिया. If you have made any deviation means to divert, not to follow. So if you have deviated from the accounting standards, then you need to give the reason for such deviation. Why did you not follow the financial statements properly? And what is the effect out of this deviation? So what will happen? Say, for example, there is a company ABC Limited. As per SLM method, the depreciation would have come around 12,000 rupees. And as per WDV method, the depreciation would have been 15,000 rupees. So now you were supposed to do WDV method, but you have done SLM. So the difference is for how much, children? 3,000. So this is rupees 3,000, which is affecting my financial statements. So one, you will give the reasons for such deviations in the financial statements. And second, you will give the amount of 3,000 as the effect arising out of this deviation. Why the Josh of the class is so low today? Why I cannot see quick answers coming in the chat box? Yes, children, where is the Josh? Are you excited for the class? When I don't see any response, even my excitement goes down. So why the chat box is so silent today? Hurry up, quickly respond in the chat box. All those who are very excited to learn accounts of companies today, because I've seen the strength is going up from the participant list and many of you have just joined now. So quickly reply in the chat box, all those who are sitting with their books and papers ready. Okay, somebody is ready. I'm excited as soon as we started class. So much. That's wonderful. Miss P, very good. Yes, ma'am, we are ready already. Sangeet Bani, nice, good. Almaz, let me know who all are there with us. Sunil, very nice, Kirti. So now I can feel that as if you're listening to me and responding, right? Kirti says very much, ma'am. Good, Anubhav. Nice. Shalini, all right, good. Vemery, nice. Priyanshi, I think you joined little late. So we have just done the topic of back on track. All right, that's great. Keshav Puram. Okay, nice, good. All right. Now I can see that there is some Josh in the class. All right. So let's move ahead. The central government may on its own or an application exempt any class of companies from complying with the requirements if it is in the exemption for the public interest. So some companies may also be exempted for following the procedures of financial statements, that is as per the CG. So what are the last important 2 points that we have discussed? Number one, CFS has to be prepared as per the accounting standards in Schedule 3. What are the 3 conditions to be fulfilled if CFS is not to be required? Number one, the subsidiary company has given their consent that it's a wholly owned subsidiary company and the members have intimated in writing that they have no objection if you don't prepare the CFS. Holding company is preparing the CFS statements and filing it with the ROC, and this company is not listed and neither in the process of listing. One more interesting question I wanted to do with you. I hope you have done this thing or not. You can tell me. What is the form to be fulfilled if the company is having a consolidated financial statements? That means a company has one or more subsidiaries or associate companies. Then it will prepare a consolidated financial statements. And all the subsidiaries and associates in the same form as per the accounting standards will be laid down in the annual general meeting along with the financial statements. So I am a company, Harleen Limited. I have a subsidiary, PQ Limited. I have a subsidiary, DE Limited. I have a subsidiary. I have an associate company, FR Limited. So now all these companies will come to me and Harleen Limited will prepare their consolidated financial data where data of subsidiaries and associates will be attached and we will lay down this information in front of the shareholders in the general meeting along with the other financial statements. Now, provided the company also attach a separate statement containing the salient features of the financial statements of its subsidiaries. So children, it becomes very, very difficult to put the entire information. So we try to put the summarized information in AOS 7, AOC 1 form, where we try to give the salient features of the financial statements of subsidiary or subsidiaries. So if you want, I can try showing you AOC 1 form. If you have seen it, you can tell me. Otherwise, I'll try to show you AOC 1. So this is a statement which is showing the salient features of the. Okay, so you want to see AOC1 form. This is how the AOC1 form looks like. So it says the statement according to the first proviso of subsection 3 of section 129. So we are studying 129, children. So its reference, subsection 3 reference has been given, rule 5. Statement containing the salient features of the financial statements of subsidiaries, associates, or joint ventures. So information for the subsidiaries have to be given. What is the serial number? What is the name of the subsidiary? When it was acquired? What is the reporting period for the subsidiary? So if it is different from the holding company, then you have to give a same date, the date on which it is there. Reporting currency and exchange rate. If you have foreign subsidiaries and abroad, then what is the exchange rate that you are following? Share capital, reserves and surplus, total assets, liabilities, investment. So वो कह रहा है आप पूरा फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट देने की बजाय हमें समरी दे दो, मोटा मोटा बता दो कितने एसेट लाइबिलिटीज हैं, how much reserves and surplus they're having, share capital, investment, turnover, PBT, profit before taxes, how much taxation provisions. So it is a summarized form of the balance sheet and profit and loss account. What is the summary that you have to give for the subsidiaries? Subsidiaries which are yet to commence operations. They can be subsidiaries. We have acquired a company, but they're yet to do the business. Subsidiaries which have been liquidated or sold during the year. So khatam ho gayi hai subsidiary saal mein, wo bhi bata. Similarly, the data related to associates and joint ventures. So part A deals with subsidiaries data. Part B deals with the associates and joint ventures. So, for example, name 1, 2, 3, 4, जितनी भी आपकी associate companies हैं या joint ventures हैं. Latest audited balance sheet date on which the company was associated, shares of the associate company, amount invested, extent of holding, because they are in subsidiary, you know, it is a relationship of more than 50%. Here you will have to tell the relationship. Reason why it is not consolidated. So if you're not consolidating, what is the reason? All right. So profit and loss for the year, net worth. Name of associates which are yet to commence the operations, same information. So can you see AOC1 form? So simple form. So AOC means because we are doing chapter accounts of the companies. So similarly, the form names resemble the name of the chapter. Clear? So if I ask you which is the form which tells the salient features of the subsidiary companies, so which form you will answer? Which is the form which contains the salient features of the financial statements of its subsidiaries? It is AOC1 form. Good, Harshida, Mohammed Farhan, Pooja, Sangeet Pani, very good. All right. So if the company contravenes with the provision of section 129, means if you are not following the provisions of section 129, means then who will be held responsible? So who is responsible for financial statements? This is the major question. Who shall be held responsible if the financial statements are not prepared accordingly? Julie Kumari, Anubhav, Kirti, very good. All of you have given the correct answer for the previous one. Mohammed Farhan, Soumya, good. So if the company contravenes section 129, then MD, whole-time director, CFO, and any other person who has been authorized, all these people will be held responsible if 129 has not been followed properly. So if the company has an MD, whole-time director, CFO, फिर तो ये liable. अगर कंपनी में CFO है ही नहीं, managing director है ही नहीं, there is no person named as whole-time director, then who will be responsible? Then Sangeetwani is correct, all the directors. Mr. Anil, you cannot directly call them KMPs because KMPs is a wider definition. It includes CEO also, it includes other people also. So yes, Mohammed Farhan, every director only in the absence of this information. But first you will write in the exam MD, whole-time director, CFO, these will be held liable. If the companies, then these officers will be held liable. If the company is not having any of them, then all the directors present will be held liable. Now, what is the liability? क्या liability लगेगी? What do they have to be liable for? Fine of 50,000, which can go up till 5 lakhs. Is there any imprisonment also? Yes, ma'am, they will be put behind the bars. Financial statement, section 129 is very important. If you do any kind of cheating in making financial statements of the company, directors will be put behind the bars. 1 साल की jail हो सकती है. Either jail or fine or both. There's a choice. Now you tell me, Sangeetvani, any other person means the person who has been authorized by the company. Now, if section 129 is contravened, then the directors might be put behind the bars and also they will be fined. But if section 128 is not followed, books of accounts is not properly prepared, audit trail is not properly made, then also you have the imprisonment, yes ma'am or no ma'am. Then also the directors will be put behind the bars. Absolutely correct. No, ma'am, is the correct answer. In case of section 128, we only have a penalty that is 5,000 to 5 lakh, but there is no interest. Good. Very nice, children. Great answers. So now, with this, we come to an end to section 129 and we have revised the question also. Now let's start with a very interesting section, that is section 129A. Before we come to 130, there is a small section, section 129A. It says periodical financial results. Now, children, financial statements that you were preparing as of now, you were preparing for how long? For financial year, am I right? 1st April 2024 till 31st March 2025, इसके बारे में बात कर रहे थे. अब वो कहते हैं लिस्टेड कंपनीज को तो periodical reviews कराने ही कराने हैं, बहुत सारे reviews होते हैं if you're a listed company. So section 129A has been inserted recently for unlisted companies. So you can write down this section is for the unlisted companies. This section is for the unlisted companies. So CG will tell unlisted companies that, look, companies, you also need to prepare a periodical return. You have to show your financial results on periodical basis. It can be a 3 months period, it can be 6 monthly period, it can be yearly, whatever CG will decide. अभी हुआ नहीं है कभी डिसाइड. सीजी के पास पावर है, 129A ने सीजी को पावर दी है कि you can tell the unlisted companies that you need to prepare your financial statements for this much periodical time period. And also they will take the approval from board of directors and complete audit or limited review of this results will be done. So once the periodical financial statements have been prepared, let's take an example. The CG has asked them to prepare it for 3 months, that is Jan, Feb, March. So now when you have prepared the financial statements for Jan, Feb, March as per section 129A, then they will take the approval from board of directors and complete audit will be conducted of this financial results कि इन्होंने ठीक बनाया है. Audit क्या होता है? Complete examination, detailed discussion. Limited review means just having a flip through pages that okay, it's fine, there is no error. So here also you will have to obtain the approval of board and complete audit or limited review to be done. And once this review is complete for the periodical financial results, you will have to file a copy of this with ROC within 30 days of the completion of the period. So say for example, CG asks you that you have to prepare for Jan to June. Prepare a periodical financial results. तो आप Jan से लेकर June तक का सारा data बनाओगे. You will prepare it, financial results. Then you will take the approval of board of directors and get its complete audit done or limited review. That is choice yours. And after this audit has been done and the financial data has been prepared, then within 30 days of completion of the period, you will have to file it with the RC. Clear? Students, just a second. So let's start with a new section, that is section 150. Section 130. Reopening of accounts on courts or tribunals order. Now, sometimes what happens, a court or a tribunal, what is tribunal? NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. So company matters are consulted at tribunal. Or the court will decide that there is a company ABC Limited and it is doing some kind of fraud in preparing its financial statements. Then they will ask them to reopen your accounts and prepare them again. So under section 130, power has been given to the court or tribunal wherein they can ask the companies to reopen their financial statements. All the books of accounts has to be reopened and again they have to prepare their financial statements. Now, how will court pass this order? How will court come to know about this? So step number 1 is application will be filed by central government or income tax authorities or SEBI or statutory body or any other person. So this any other person is very dangerous, means it could be anyone. So ABC Limited was a company which was preparing its financial statements as per section 129. But CG felt that this company is doing certain kind of fraud. CG को ऐसा लगा ये company कुछ गड़बड़ कर. CG will go and make an application to the court that, look, this company ABC Limited, you have to tell them to reopen their accounts and make it again. और इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज को लगा तो वो भी एप्लीकेशन लेकर जा सकते हैं, या फिर सेबी को लगता है तो वो भी एप्लीकेशन. इनमें से कोई भी पार्टी which has a doubt that you're not preparing your financial statements properly, they can ask and make an application to the court or tribunal. Now, what will happen? Let's assume central government files an application. Central government goes and files an application. So when this application will come, they will say the earlier the accounts were prepared in a fraudulent manner. Or they can say that the affairs are being mismanagement is happening, which is creating a doubt on the reliability. So what will they make an application? Court and tribunal will pass the order to the effect that the accounts either are fraudulent or there is some mismanagement happening. But before passing this order, जैसे CG उसके पास application लेकर आया, so court will give a notice to all the other applicants. Court will send a notice to statutory body, to SEBI, to income tax authorities, and he will ask them that please come and make your representation. क्या आपको कुछ कहना तो नहीं है? CG has offered me this application that the ABC Limited is doing fraud. So court will send the notice to income tax authorities, SEBI, any other person. ये सारे जो bodies है, 5 लोग हैं, इनके से बाकी 4 लोगों को ये message जाएगा. Do you want to make a representation? I will take it into consideration. Please come and meet me. Is it okay? We are trying to we are trying to ask them to reopen their accounts. Should we ask them? Any person can make an application. अगर income tax authorities application लेकर आएगा, फिर court किसको भेजेगा? Representation CG को, SEBI को, statutory authority. If SEBI has filed this notice, then who all will be sent a notice? The notice will go to CG, income tax authority, statutory body. Clear? Anubhav, then they have to decide whoever is the authorized person. They have already decided as per the rules of the companies. Accordingly, that person will be sent the notice. So court will give a notice to all these applicants and the court will take the representation into consideration. अब वो कोर्ट क्या कहेगा जी, आपको एक डेट दे दी है 5 जून को, सपोज सीजी ने मुझे एप्लीकेशन, तो कोर्ट नोटिस भेज देगा सबको कि आप 8 जून तक प्लीज आइए और बताइए कि कोई प्रॉब्लम है या नहीं. सो जो डेट दी होगी उसकी डेट में उसकी रिप्रेजेंटेशन 8 जून को सब लोग आएंगे, अपना अपना पार्ट बोलेंगे एंड देन कोर्ट विल गिव इट्स फाइनल वर्डिक्ट. Then court will pass the order that go company, go revise or recast your accounts. We don't have any objection. You can revise your financial statements. And what is the time limit? First of all, have you understood the procedure? Who will make an application? Quickly write down in the chat box. CG or IT or SEBI or statutory body or any other person. So under 130 application as can be made by any of these 3-5 bodies. Application will be made to whom? जल्दी लिखते जाओ चैट बॉक्स पे बेटा. अच्छा अभी पहले वाले का लिख रहे हो, सॉरी, आराम आराम से करो. ओके, हर्ष कौर, हर्षदा, मिस पी, संगीतवनी, गुड. Okay, Julie, nice, Miss P. So application will be made to the court or tribunal. Good, Mohammed Farhan, Soumya. Now, when the application is made to court and tribunal, say for example, CG has made the application, then court will send the notice to which all people? If CG has made the application, court will send the notice to which all people? All the other person. ठीक है, other than the person fact. Very good. SEBI, statutory body, any other person. And excellent, excellent. All of you. Very good. What will happen then? On the date which he has given to them for the representation, court will invite them, he'll make them sit down and he will listen to their representation. Yes, call a meeting and will take into consideration their representation. I hope you have not done section 130, right? पहले पढ़ा तो नहीं है ना, सिर्फ 128 and 129 ही हुए ना. All right, all right, all right. So he will make a representation and take into consideration, and then after that he will pass the orders that okay, fine, let's allow them to revise their financial statements. They might have done certain errors and they can recast. Okay. Now let's read the last line. Time limit for reopening or of orders of books of accounts shall relate to 8 financial years preceding the current financial year, except on the direction of CG. Board of accounts may be kept, books of accounts may be kept for a period longer than 8 years, and accordingly they can be ordered for board review. So it says there are certain cases, in case of investigation, they might ask you that you have to keep your books of accounts for more than 8 years also. Otherwise, generally the revision is allowed for 8 years, 8 financial. So if MCQ can come, that what is the time limit for reopening the books of accounts under section 130? It is 5 years, 3 years, 8 years, or what? So up till how many years you can open up your financial statements? Up till 8 years. Very nice, very nice. All of you have given the correct answer. And if the books have been maintained for more than 8 years, then in those special cases, investigation cases, he can ask for opening the books of accounts for more than 8 years. So here you can write down, this is reopening of the books of accounts as per other orders, like CG ने order करा या income tax authorities ने order करा, इस करके हमने changes. But can I do a voluntary revision of my books of account? Can I voluntarily order for the revision of my financial statements? So you can write down section 131, voluntary revision of your books of accounts. You can also request for the revision of your financial statements and boards report. So section 131 says, if directors of the company feel that my financial statements or boards report is not as per section 129 and section 134. पहले आराम से समझते हैं क्या फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स चिल्ड्रन कौन सी सेक्शन में बनते हैं, जल्दी बता दो मुझे. फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स का सेक्शन कौन सा है? हर्षिता गुड, जूली गुड, मोहम्मद फरहान, सौम्या जेंद्रा, धनुष। धनुष ने 128 लिखा है। वो तो बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स का नहीं था, हमने अभी कौन सा पढ़ा है? अनुभव। संगीत बनी गुड। सेक्शन 129। इंटरमीडिएट में थोड़े से मैंने बोले ना सेक्शंस करने पड़ेंगे लर्न। इट्स ओके, बट अभी के लिए पता होना चाहिए ताकि ये लाइन हमें इजीली समझ आ जाए। मिस्टर अनिल गुड। सो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स हमने जो सेक्शन 129 में बनाए हैं। एंड इस चैप्टर में एक टॉपिक है बोर्ड रिपोर्ट, जो हम आज क्लास पे करेंगे भी। वो कौन से सेक्शन में? सेक्शन 134. So now if the board of directors themselves feel that 129 has not been properly followed, कुछ गड़बड़ है मेरी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स, या फिर बोर्ड रिपोर्ट जो 134 के अकॉर्डिंग बननी थी उन्होंने कंपेयर करा, अच्छा ये 134 के अकॉर्डिंग नहीं बनी हुई, कुछ गड़बड़। इट अपेयर्स टू द डायरेक्टर्स, मींस डायरेक्टर्स को खुद को लग रहा है कि मेरा एफएस ठीक नहीं बना है और मेरी बीआर ठीक नहीं बनी है एज पर 129 एंड 134. देन व्हाट विल दे डू? They will make an application to the court or tribunal, and they will ask them that please prepare the revised financial statements any 3 previous financial years. Voluntary revision you can only do for the 3 previous financial years, not more than 3 previous financial years. Can you get your board's report revised for more than 3 years? Under 131, only for the 3 years. Copy of order of tribunal will be filed with the ROC. So what has happened over here? You yourself as a director of the company, you felt that board report is not made properly, FS is not made properly, then you will file an application to the court or tribunal, and they will allow you to revise your financial statements only for the 3 previous financial years. Children, under 130 also we can revise only for 3 previous financial years or 5? Reply. No ma'am, you're wrong. It's 8 years. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Excellent. Under 131, you can revise your financial statements for how many years? Very good. 3 years. And then you revise your board report also not for more than 3 years. And this copy of the tribunal's order has to be filed with the registrar. Now let's understand what is the entire procedure. So there is a procedure laid down by NCLT rules that we need to follow for the voluntary revision of financial statements. So whenever you're voluntarily reviewing your financial statements, you need to make an application to the tribunal in form number NCLT 1. All right. First of all, you will tell them that for which financial year you want to revise your accounts. कौन से साल के accounts revise होने? Which financial year these accounts relate? Then second point, you will give them all the names and contact details of MD, CFO, directors, company secretary, officer, whosoever was responsible for making and maintaining these books. If the accounts were audited, then who was the auditor? His details also will be given. Board resolution wherein it has been decided that the accounts needs to be revised. I told you directors will take the decision. How will the directors take the decision? How will the directors take the decision? Yes, by passing a board resolution. They will pass a board resolution that yes, we have decided to revise our accounts. Grounds for seeking revision of financial statements. What are the reasons? Why do you want to revise? And if the majority of directors or auditor have changed immediately before the decision was taken under 131, then also the company will have to intimate this fact. Now, there is a company whose directors majorly have changed, या फिर company को auditor change हुआ है, तो ये भी आपको information उसमें देनी पड़ेगी under section 131 that our auditors and directors have gone under change. So I give you 1 minute, read it quickly. What is the information that you need to file? Everyone? All right. So number one, financial year to which it relates. Details of the managing director, everybody, name and contact details of the auditor has to be given. What are the reasons for the revision of financial statements? Will disclose sufficient reasons. Yes, 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 Harshita, they will have to disclose the sufficient reasons. Means what is the reason why do they want to revise these accounts? And then if your directors have changed, so board resolution will be passed. So copy of that board resolution also needs to be filed with the NCL. Now what will happen? Now let's understand the procedure. So this application will be made to the court. Now before fixing the date of hearing, so now they have fixed the name. They will fix the date of hearing. What is the meaning of date of hearing? जिस दिन आपने कोर्ट जाना है और डिसीजन सुनना है, क्या फैसला हो. So fixing the date of hearing 14 days before this date. An advertisement will be sent at least 14 days before this date of hearing, inviting all the shareholders that we are going to revise your financial statements. If you have any doubts or any problems, please come and meet us. So what is the simple first procedure? Company can change its financial statements only for the 3 previous financial years, not more than that. And it has to file this revised financial statements with ROC. Now, what is the process? We'll make an application to National Company Law Tribunal. Tribunal is going to give us the date of hearing. Say, for example, tribunal ने date of hearing दी थी 8th June. 8 July. So 14 days before 8 July क्या होता है? जल्दी maths लगाओ. 14 days before 8 July. So they have not written clear 14 days. So you can include this date also. So 8 July के 14 days पहले आपने एप्लीकेशन दे देनी है, न्यूज़पेपर में एडवर्टाइज कर देना है दैट लुक शेयर होल्डर्स वी आर गोइंग टू रिवाइज द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. इफ यू हैव एनी ऑब्जेक्शन प्लीज कम एंड मीट अस. Also the tribunal is going to give the notice to the auditor. कंपनी के ऑडिटर को नहीं पूछेंगे भाई साहब क्या गलती हुई है. कंपनी का ऑडिटर होता है ना, बहुत बड़ा बंदा होता है. चैप्टर 10 में आप ऑडिट एंड ऑडिटर्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. So once the financial statements have been prepared, they will also get audited by the auditor. That is you, your all future budding chartered accountants. You're going to do audits tomorrow. So now the court will also send the application to the auditor that look, we have asked for the financial statements reopening. Have you done the audit properly? So auditor will also be invited. So he will issue a notice to the auditor of the original financial statements and also will ask him for the hearing. Tribunal will pass the orders whatever he thinks fit after considering the hearing of auditor and any other person. कहते हैं वो उसको बुलाएगा ऑडिटर को या किसी और बंदे को, वो सबकी हियरिंग सुनने के बाद फैसला अपना सुना देगा. He will take the decision. Now, on receiving approval from tribunal, a general meeting will be called, and now again a notice of such reasons have to be sent in English as well as vernacular language newspaper. One, you sending in advertisements that we are going to, before 14 days of the date of hearing, you're inviting the shareholders if they have any objection. Now, once the approval of tribunal has come that, okay, fine, you can change your financial statements, your reasons are well in place, then they will call a general meeting. And for calling this general meeting, they will have to send a notice that we are going to change the financial statements. What is the reason and how we're going to change it? This will be given in the English and vernacular language newspaper. In the general meeting, the revised financial statements of the directors, auditors will be taken into consideration before the decision is taken. So the director's statement will also be considered. Any auditors want to say anything, whatever is their points, they will be taken into consideration. Okay, yes, 24th June was correct. Mohammed Farhan. Yes, Sunil, that is correct. Miss P, all of you. For that date, it was correct. So in the general meeting, the revised financial statements will be put for consideration. Now everybody will come and review that, okay, fine, these are fine, then you can adopt it. And the revised financial statements along with the auditor's reports and board reports will be filed with the registrar within 30 days from the date of. Is that clear, everyone? Let me see if we can open the module also once. Hmm. Okay, Harshida, not to worry. Let's see section 131 from the study material also once, please. Why it's not working? Financial statement 129 we have done. CFS also we have done detailed discussion. Silent features also. AOC 1 form you have already seen this form. Consolidation ho gaya. Now, let's do this illustration. First of all, illustration 3. Modern Furniture Limited is required to prepare its financial statements to comply with the accounting standards and will be prepared as per Schedule 3. But the financial statements prepared and presented were not according to the accounting standards. Therefore, they want to disclose deviation, reason of deviation, financial effects arising of such deviation. So, what all will be required? Take 1 minute and tell me the correct answer without cheating from your modules. Which is the correct option? D is the correct option. Everyone agrees? All right. Because everything will be required. What is the deviation, reason, and what financial effect it is having will be given. Periodical financial results. Then reopening. So I give you 2 minutes, children. Let's take a small break here and read section 131, what we have done. Okay, D is the correct answer. All of you have given the correct answer. So I give you a small break here and then you revise 131 and then we will move forward. Read section 129A, section 130 and 131. तीनों sections module में से एक बार देख लो. And let's take a small break here. So we are taking a break, Manish sir. Students, welcome back to the class. All right, Sangeetvani is written, is there any restriction on the voluntary revision for better presentation? They revise, it can be done. So Sangeetvani, if you have a doubt, say for example, at times I'm a director of the company and I myself feel that there is some error which has been made as per section 129 or the board's report that I was preparing as per 134, it has not been followed. Then you go for the voluntary revision. And yes, of course, it's for a better presentation. There has to be certain reason why you're doing it. Okay. So how the reopening of the books will be done under section 131. 130 we have already done. So these are the 5 parties which are going to make an application. Earlier accounts were in the fraudulent manner or the mismanagement was done. Under 130, an outsider is giving an application. Under 131 also an outsider is giving or the company is giving the application? Tell me. Very good. Under 131, company is giving the application to the court or tribunal. So this is the voluntary revision. Financial statements do not comply with 129 or the board report do not comply with 134. Then company will go and make an application to the tribunal. Very good, Nidhi, Pooja. Good evening, Nidhi. Late for the class. Yes, Soumya, absolutely. Voluntarily. Sunil Kumar, good. Board of directors. Yes. So 3 revised financial years can be done. Approval of the tribunal will be made. So first point you can write down. The process is after obtaining the approval of tribunal on an application. So application is made in NCLT 1 form. And point number 2, you can write down within 14 days of the decision taken by the court. So first of all, the board resolution will be passed. Board resolution will be passed that we want to change the financials. Then you will make an application to the NCLT 1 form to the tribunal. And this application has to be made within 14 days of the board's resolution. Clear ho gaya? Point number 3 actually should be the last point. It is written that once the certified copy of the order will come, it will be filed with ROC within 30 days. So this is the broad procedure. First, board resolution will be passed that we want to revise these things. NCLT 1 form application will be made within 14 days of the court's order. And then whatever order will come, it has to be filed with ROC in 30 days. Now, there is a process to be followed in between, which we are going to understand written below from the rules. So 131 deals with the voluntarily if the board of directors are of so opinion. However, 130 is different. Such revised financial statements shall not be prepared or filed for more than once in a financial year. Very, very important point for an MCQ. It says you can revise 3 years financial statements, but can you do it for more than once in a financial year? It says only once in a financial year you can make an application to NCLT, not more than that. ये नहीं कि आप हर महीने बाद जा रहे हो एप्लीकेशन देकर, only once in a financial year. So examiner will give you a question. Financial year 24-25 was there. That is 1st April 24 till 31st March 2025. Board of Directors filed an application after passing board resolution in September 24 under section 131 for revision of financial statements or recasting. Recasting means reopening. And tribunal's order, they were allowed. Now, in again February 25, Board of Directors want to revise their financial statements. Can they do this? Can they make another application in the same financial year? Tell me your answers. No, ma'am, not allowed. Very good. Thank God, jaag rahe hain sir. Yes. Now it's flooded the chat box. Good. Let me see the students if still have anyone on the portal also. All right. I can't see any student over here now. Okay, only her Sen. Okay. So very good. Only once in a financial year it's allowed. That's great. Miss P, you can file for any financial year, not more than once. Okay, not more than once. Yes, yes, Golti Anil, that is the highest for all the corporates. That's true. So now there are NCLT rules which has been laid down that you have to give them an application. You will tell them the which financial year. See, who was asking this question? Miss P, you were asking the question. So you have to tell for which financial year or the period to which the accounts relate. Do you want to have want to revise the financials for this year or the previous year, whichever financial year you want to revise? Name and address of the MD has to be given. Copy of board resolution. If the accounts were audited, then auditor's name. We have just discussed these points from my presentation. Now, what is the fourth procedure? The company will advertise the application at least 14 days. So, दो जगह 14 days आ रहा है. One is that board resolution pass हुई, उसकी 14 days में आपने NCLT को application. फिर जब उसने डेट ऑफ हियरिंग दिया, उसके 14 days पहले आपने एप्लीकेशन को एडवर्टाइज कर दिया. You will tell the shareholders that we are going to get our accounts revised. We have made an application to the tribunal. Tribunal will send the notice to the auditor of the original financial statements, and then it will pass the audits. Now, very important line. ध्यान से सुनना. Tribunal will also give the notice to CG and income tax authorities and will take their representations into consideration. Where have you read these kind of provisions? Where we were making an application to CG, IT, SEBI. कौन सा section था हमने अभी पढ़ा है? Section 130. Very good. So even under 131, although director has made us an application, still we are sending a notice to the auditor. Also, it can give a notice to CG and income tax authorities. He will ask them that, look, this company is changing its financial statements. कुछ गड़बड़ तो नहीं है? आपको तो नहीं कोई ऑब्जेक्शन अगर हम इनके फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स चेंज करें? हो सकता है इनकम टैक्स के नोटिस आए हो, आप उस पर कुछ हेर फेर कर रहे हो, and you are trying to change your FS or CG government compliance you have not done and you are trying to act smart and change your financials, or the auditor has set certain query and now you are trying to pass an order under 151 that you want to change your financials. So all these three parties will be invited and taken into consideration that both you don't have any objection. And after receiving the approval from the tribunal, okay, fine. After CG, IT, auditors, everyone has been consulted, then tribunal will pass its final order. Okay, fine, you can go for the revision. We have consulted all. No, SEBI नहीं है ना अनुभव, फिर SEBI नहीं आएगा. SEBI 150 में any other person भी नहीं, सिर्फ any तीन parties. Okay. Then a general meeting will be called wherein you will discuss the reasons why we are changing this financial statements. It will be published in the newspaper. The detailed revision will also be disclosed. Whatever revision you have done, it will be given in the board's report. In the general meeting, the revised financial statements will be put for the consideration. All the shareholders will be invited and you will tell them, these are the financial statements we are going to change. Please tell them, let's adopt this financial statements. And once the financial statements have been revised, within 30 days, you need to file a copy with the ROC. So let's have a quick round of quiz. Shareholders will pass the resolution or board of directors will pass the resolution for section 131 adoption. Is it board's resolution or shareholders resolution? Board resolution. Good. Application will be made to CG, court, tribunal. To whom? Application has to be made to whom? कोर्ट और ट्राइब्यूनल. वेरी गुड, वेरी वेरी गुड, इंटेलिजेंट बच्चे. यार होल्डर किसने लिखा है? मिस पी. इट वाज बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. ट्राइब्यूनल और कोर्ट, करेक्ट. गुड. Within how many days the application has to be made to the tribunal? Within how many days of board decision, application has to be made to the tribunal? 14 days of BOD's decision. Application is made in which form? Application is made in which form? Very nice, Almas, Julie, Anubhav, Jendra. Excellent memory, Sangeetwani. Now I am getting my students back on track. Excellent. NCLT1 form is used for making an application. How many details you need to tell them? What were the details randomly? Financial year, directors, who was the directors, name and details of the auditors, board resolution, and the reasons for seeking the revision. All right. For how many previous financial years we can have the revision of the board's reports or financial statements? We can get the revision done for how many years? The correct answer is 3 years. Section 130 में कितने years थे? Section 130 में कितने years थे? और Darshita, Almas, Sangeetwani, good, 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 8 years. The Josh has been lifted. Excellent. Now, company will give the advertisement of the application within how many days? Advertise the application within how many days? Within 14 days of what? Of hearing. ये लिखते जाना सब पॉइंट बेटा आपके लिए. ये समरी ऑफ 131 बना रही हूँ. Within 41 days of the date of hearing, company will advertise the application. So say for example, company has tribunal has given the date of hearing 14th March. So now prior to this 14 days, that is 28th February, you will give an ad in the newspaper that we have applied to the tribunal for the changes. Anyone having any objection, please come and report to us. And then the tribunal will send the notice to, tribunal is going to send the notice to whom? Tribunal will send notice to, इसको भेजना था, auditor, also to the CG or income tax authorities also. ठीक है. उसके बाद क्या था? What will happen then? Tribunal will issue the notice to the auditor. He will give them the opportunity of being heard, why such changes are being made, whether there was any error, what problem has occurred. All these things will be asked to the auditor. Then what will happen? Then tribunal will pass the order. Yes. They will call the general meeting. No, first order passed. Tribunal will pass the order that yes, you can change your financials or books. पहले ये order आए. फिर क्या होगा जब order आ गया तो? General meeting will be held of shareholders where these general meeting of shareholders will be held where these financial statements will be laid down for adoption of revised financial statements. And once these financial statements are approved, they are filed with ROC within how many days? Within 30 days, it needs to be filed with the ROC. Easy लग रहा है 131? समझ आ गया सबको? Is it clear to everyone? Good. You want to write it down? Take 1 minute, write it down. Everyone, please write down the summary. All right. Written, can I raise it? Thank you, Priyanshita. I'm glad you're finding it easy now. Keshavpuram, क्या कह रहे हो 30D 30 days okay good good कीर्ति कह रही 9th point not clear 9th point में मैंने ये लिखा है कि once the children have just written a small summary I was speaking in between so pay attention on that so I said once the order have been passed कि हाँ जी आप financial statements change कर लो now you will invite all your shareholders will send them the notice and you will invite them for the general meeting so GM of shareholders will be held where you will lay down these financial statements adoption. I'll show you where this point is written. So this is the point. General meeting, revised financial statements will be put up for consideration and they will adopt it. Adopt means accept. Once they have accepted, it will be considered the final financial statement. I think before we proceed ahead, let me see if we can do 1 or 2 questions related to this topic. Okay, I give you 2 minutes. There is a question in front of you on the screen. Read it and write your answers in the chat box. Take 2 minutes, read it carefully, and I want everyone to write their answers. So, Mesh Singh, good answers. I've read your answers, child. If you can relate to the section, that would be great. Which section it relates to? Let me see how many of you have given the correct answer. Very nice. Miss P, Jindra. 131, no, Sangeet Vani, it's 130, Nidhi 130 hai ye, Miss P, Anubhav, good. Harshita, good. Tribunal will not allow for more than 8 years, very good. Almas. Sunil Kumar, Vimri. Excellent, children. You have just studied the topic and you're applying your brain and answering. That's wonderful. Let's quickly read the question. Income tax authorities in the current financial year observed that the assessment proceedings, there is a need to reopen the accounts of 2008 and 9. Therefore, they filed an application. So, IT authority, आप बोल रहे हो 131, मैंने अभी सेक्शन 130 में आपको पढ़ाया है. अगर CG, IT, SEBI या एनी अदर पर्सन या स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडीज, ये 5 लोग अगर एप्लीकेशन फाइल करते हैं, फिर हम सेक्शन 130. So now, but they can only revise the financial statements for 8 financial years. They are doing it for then 8. Second is tribunal has ordered the reopening. The company has approached you to explain the provisions for reopening. So tribunal has ordered the reopening. That again you can write down whether it is 130 or 131 depending upon who has been. Yeah. So considering the first question, Chetan Limited, what will you write? First, you will write provisions of the case. As per section 130 of the Companies Act, company will not reopen or recast unless the application is made by these 5 parties. Application is made by income tax authorities that the accounts were prepared in fraudulent or mismanagement was done. Yahan tak clear ho gaya? No order will be made for more than 8 financial years. This thing you have to write in the provisions. Children, I am teaching you how you have to write an answer. अब आपने answers अपने chat box में ठीक लिखा. But why do we don't get marks? Exams are approaching. Now we need to know how we have to attempt the question paper also. That is also equally important. Learning is important. Attempting the question paper is also equally important. So you will write down this line in the provision only that no order will be passed for the more than 8 years. This is the first paragraph, provisions of the case. Then your second paragraph starts, in the instant case, इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? Facts of the case. The application was filed for the financial year 8. Though the application filed is valid, but the recommendation cannot be done for more than 8 years. Therefore, this is invalid. This is how you have to conclude the answer. ठीक है? दोबारा आएंगे इस पे वापस, पहले सेक्शन 134 पढ़ लो. Okay, enjoyed the question? All right. Now, after section 131, we have section 132, which is very, very lengthy, and I'm going to take it up in the next class. So, we are going to take a very interesting and important section today, that is board's report. Okay, Ms. P, thank you so much. All right. Section 134 relates to board's report. Now, whenever we start with section 134, examiner's favorite question relates to who will sign the financial statements and who will sign the board's report. So first, this actually financial statements relate to section 129, but the signing of financial statements is given under section 134. So these are the people who can sign the financial statements on behalf of board of directors, chairman who is authorized by the board. Not any chairperson, only the chairperson who has been authorized by the board can sign the financial statements. Or 2 directors, out of which one should be the MD. All right. Then CEO. If he is a director, please read it very carefully. अगर वो director है, तभी वो sign कर सकता. CFO, यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा director. If appointed, CFO can sign the financial statement. CS, if appointed. So examiner can ask you, can a CS sign the financial statements made under 129? Yes or no? So we are doing 134 because it is in chain 128, 129, 128, 130, 131, and then 134. 132 and 135 we'll do in the next class, but we'll do the related topics. Yes, CS can sign. Can CEO sign? Can CEO sign? So you will write yes, ma'am, only if he's a director. Can CFO sign? Yes. Chairperson can sign? Yes, if he's authorized by the board. two directors, or if chairperson is not there, two directors, one of them shall be MD. Signed copy of FS shall be including consolidated financial statements. If any, it shall be issued, circulated, and published with a copy of any notes attached forming part of the statement, auditors' reports, and books. So it says signed copy. So why signing is important? Because only a signed copy of financial statements, including CFS, will go ahead. Now, this signed copy will be issued, will be published in the newspaper. Any notes which are forming part of this statement, auditors' reports, and board report will also be attached. However, in case of OPC, in case of one-person company, it will be approved only by one director. Why this is happening? Why only one director? Why not two directors in OPC? Signing of financial statements, Anil, we are talking about. Why not two directors are signing children under OPC? Because ma'am, OPC is one-person company, only one person is a member, one is nominee. So one person having only one director. He himself is the director. So OPC को ये apply मत करने बैठ जाना कि chairperson, two directors, okay? Clear signing of financial statements. So first we will understand in detail and then we will come to DRS. So what all is included in the board's report? I was just trying to check out if we can find out where is the signing of board's report related. That we can cover the same topic together. So this is signing of financial statements on behalf of board. All these persons can sign. And the signed copy of financial statements will be circulated, including the notes, auditor's report, and board's report. Let's do this illustration number 4 first. Board of Directors wants to circulate unaudited accounts before the AGM. Whether this act is tenable or not. कह रहे हैं कंपनी के डायरेक्टर्स हैं वो सर्कुलेट करना चाहते हैं अनऑडिटेड अकाउंट्स. Is it possible? Section 129 says that at every AGM, Board of Directors will lay before the financial statements for the financial year. हमने पढ़ा. Further, 134 says signed copy of financial statements, including CFS, has to be laid down. Therefore, unaudited cannot be sent to the members, or unaudited cannot be filed with the others. When you say signed financial statements, of course, along with the auditor's report, along with the notes, along with the, so audit की report तो चाहिए ही चाहिए ना हमें. So unaudited cannot be circulated. Clear? So now we are going to study in detail about the contents of board's report. I was just trying to find out signing of board's report. Found it. Signing of board's report. We have just done signing of financial statements. So I wanted tenable nidhi means कि valid है या नहीं. तब इसको treat करा जा सकता है ठीक से या नहीं. So unaudited है तो ये tenable नहीं है means ये acceptable नहीं. Okay बेटा. Signing of board's report. Board's report and the annexures will be signed by chairperson of the company if he is authorized by the board. And if he is not authorized, then by at least two directors, one of them shall be MD or the director where there is one director, means OPC के case पे तो one director ही होगा, otherwise two directors and one should be managing director and the chairperson. So you clearly write down in your notes, financial statement signed by 5 people, chairperson or CEO or CFO or CS, two directors, one of them shall be MD. But board's report shall be only signed by chairperson if the board authorizes, or at least two directors. And if he's not authorized, then by two directors, one of them shall be MD. Clear? All right. Now let's move back to the points of contents of the board's report. You can refer to the summary from my notes, but I want to do each and every point from the study material. Otherwise, you keep wondering why we have not read these points. So board's report की contents learn करने सारे important नहीं है, but since it is part of study material, it is extract is taken from the Companies Act, so we have to give it a fair reading. And more or less, it's very, very simple. So we'll just try to give it a reading and understand what are the contents of the board's report. Number one, the web address has to be given where the annual return given under section 92 has been placed. Children, you remember annual return? In which chapter we have studied annual return? जल्दी से लिख के बताओ मुझे, आपने रिवाइज करा हुआ है ना? सेक्शन 92, 96, 97 एजीएम के थे. MGT, वेरी गुड, चैप्टर नंबर 7. सो जो आपने एनुअल रिटर्न वहां पे रेफर करी है उसका वेब एड्रेस दे दो भी, कहाँ पे वो प्लेस्ड है. बोर्ड रिपोर्ट में एड्रेस डाल, पूरी की पूरी एनुअल रिटर्न नहीं देनी है. वेब एड्रेस मींस लिंक विल बी गिवन, यू कैन गो एंड चेक योर एनुअल रिटर्न फ्रॉम देयर. नंबर ऑफ मीटिंग्स, कितनी मीटिंग्स बोर्ड ने करी है साल में, वो दे दो. डायरेक्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी स्टेटमेंट डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे, we'll try to understand because this is the only important part DRS from this topic. Frauds reported by the auditors, power and duties of the auditors, section 143 में chapter number 10 में पढ़ोगे इससे related. So chapter number 10 में you're going to read what are the powers and duties of the auditors given under section 143. So one of the powers says that any fraud which is reported by the auditors will be given in the board report. So that is the fraud of more than 1 crore rupees. Any fraud which is lesser than 1 crore rupees will be coming under board's report. All right. So when you read chapter 10, 143, this will get clear. So यहाँ पे लिख के रख लो, refer chapter number 10, audit and auditor. A statement on declaration given by independent directors under 149. Now 149 also, it is a chapter which relates to the next chapter, and in fact not even the next chapter, it is related to director's talk. So company to have board of directors in relation to independent directors. So if you have an independent director, simply take a declaration from him that yes, I am Mr. A, independent director. In case the company is covered under 178, now 178 is again your CA final, SPM syllabus, not to be covered over here. There also you will give the director's remuneration, appointment, all these qualifications, all these points will be mentioned in the post. Explanation, qualification or adverse remarks made by the auditors and by the CS. So कोई comments दिए हैं अगर board report के ऊपर, कोई qualification है, auditor ने कोई points दिए हुए हैं, that will also be included in the board report. The loans, guarantees, investments under 186. 186 is also not part of this. AOC 2 form for the contracts made with the related parties. So under related parties, if you have made any kind of arrangements and contract, it is known as related party transactions. It will be given under form number AOC 2 in the board's report. What was AOC 1? What was AOC 1 form? Yes, Anil, it is under the control of the auditor, means there. Yes, Julie, why are you raising your hands? You have to reply on the chat box, children. Nobody will raise their hands. Salient features of subsidiaries and associates. Excellent, Miss P. The first one to reply, Almas. Jandra, nice, good try. Salient features related. It was shown to you also the form number AOC 1 form. Okay. State of the company's affair, the amount which the company proposes to carry to the reserves, amount to be declared as dividend, all these main things. Material changes, if any, occurred between the end of the financial year and date of report. So end of financial year happened, and now when you're making a board report, if any changes have happened, you can simply mention them in the board's report. Foreign exchange rates that you're using, risk management policy of the company, CSR initiatives taken. So CSR is a very, very detailed topic which we are going to cover under 135. So what all CSR responsibilities that you have been doing? What is the meaning of CSR? Can anyone tell me in the layman's language CSR hota kya hai? Any idea? Anything that you know about CSR? Anything you want to mention about CSR? Tell me in the chat box. Okay, it's a corporate social responsibility. What else? What else? What kind of CSR the companies do? Mm-hmm. Very nice. Initiatives taken by the company for contributing towards the society. Very nice. Very good. All of you. Harsh, Soumya, Sangeet, Mani. Good point. Okay. In case there is a listed company which is having a paid up capital of 25 rupees crore or more. Okay? A statement indicating a formal annual performance KCS company. So if there is a listed company and it is having, and every other public company, it is having a paid up share capital of more than 25 crores, their evaluation report, how they have been performing, and the directors, committees, and independent directors detail has to be submitted in the board's report. Then such are the matters: financial summary, nature of business, detail of directors. Just give it a simple reading. No need to learn it. एक छोटी सी रीडिंग दे देना इसको. इंटीग्रिटी, एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स, एवरीथिंग इज टू बी इंक्लूडेड इन दी बोर्ड रिपोर्ट्स. आपकी जॉइंट वेंचर्स कौन है, एसोसिएट कंपनीज कौन है, कितना आपने डिपॉजिट एक्सेप्ट करा है, कितना अनक्लेम्ड है, कितनी डिफॉल्ट थी, चैप्टर 5 डिपॉजिट से रिलेटेड, सिग्निफिकेंट मटेरियल ऑर्डर्स, गोइंग कंसर्न से रिलेटेड, adequacy of internal controls, cost accounting, cost records, all these kind of things. Students are advised to take note where the disclosures given under 134 have been included. Such disclosures shall be referred instead of being repeated in the board report. So whatever disclosures you have read earlier, they will not be repeated again in the board. Where the policy given under 134E and O is made available on company's website, then you can simply share the link web address. Board's report shall be prepared on standalone financial statements of the company and tell the performance of subsidiaries. So standalone financial statements के base पे ही आपकी board's report बने. So now it is giving you a abridged board's report for OPC and small companies. So you will see, children, same whatever you have read in the upper pages, same लिखा हुआ है. Web address, annual return का, number of meetings, DRS, any frauds to be reported, state सब कुछ same. अब आ जाते हैं हम अपने इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक के ऊपर जो है DRS. दैट इज डायरेक्टर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी स्टेटमेंट. So board's report will include a very very important statement, that is डायरेक्टर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्या है. आपने ये तो पढ़ लिया, इंटीग्रिटी हो गया, मटेरियल डिसऑर्डर्स भेज दिया, सब कुछ इंक्लूड कर लिया, नंबर ऑफ मीटिंग्स, साइनिंग की भी बात कर ली हमने. Who will sign the board's report? Who is going to sign the board's report? Who will sign the board's report? Very nice. Chairperson or two directors, one of them shall be MD. If it is OPC, then only one director. All right, now let's understand DRS. So the first point of DRS is accounting standards and accounting policies. First is accounting standard. Second is we are going to talk about accounting policies. Third is we are going to talk about going concern. Oh, sorry. Third is about the adequate records to be maintained. Fourth is going concern. Fifth is internal financial controls. And the sixth is legal compliance and legal laws. To quickly write down these abbreviations, first is accounting standards. Second is related to accounting policies. Third point is related to adequate records. Heading देते जाओ. Third point is related to adequate records. Fourth point is related to going concern. I hope you all are writing. Fifth point is related to internal financial controls, IFCs. Sixth point is related to legal compliances. So now we are going to discuss in detail the 6 important material factors which are to be included in the director responsibilities. The first one says that applicable accounting standards have been followed or not. And if there have been any material departure, please report that. Explain the material departures effect. You were supposed to follow FIFO method for inventory. You have followed LIFO method for inventory. Deviation हुआ कि नहीं? You were supposed to follow WDV. You have followed SLM. Deviation हुआ कि नहीं? कहता accounting standards policies follow करो. कोई deviation होता है तो report करो. क्या कहते हैं? Applicable accounting standards have to be followed with proper explanation. Any material departures, give the explanation. Simple. Second point relates to accounting policies and applying them consistently. And you have to tell whatever estimates you have made are reasonable and are prudent. And they are giving a true and correct fair view of the payment. So for example, एक entry होती है provision की entry डाल. So आपने accounting policy अपनाई कि अगर हर month 10,000 rent की entry आ रही है. So किसी month अगर rent नहीं पे हुआ तो आप कितनी provision entry लोगे? 10,000 की लोगे या 15,000 की लोगे? So if the rent has fallen down or slightly increased, so you will take the roughly figure between 8 to 11,000. If the figure is not given for that particular month. So it has to be reasonable, which is a related figure, so that correct picture of financials is reflected. Then the third point is what kind of care they are taking. It says directors should take care, maintenance of accounting records, safeguarding of the assets and prevention of any fraud. हमारे adequate records maintain हो रहे हैं कि नहीं? ऐसा तो नहीं हम fraud हो रहा है company में and you're not taking care of it. ऐसा तो नहीं you're not safeguarding the assets. Whether it has been followed or not for prevention of frauds, what kind of efforts that you are making. Next is preparing the annual accounts on going concern basis. What is the meaning of going concern? Chapter number 1 in class 11th and 12th, when you start studying accounts, you are taught about going concern. Please tell me, children, you are all an account student. Tell me the meaning of going concern. What is the meaning of going concern? That means you are accepting your concern as a regular working concern. It's not that it will be changing, it will be stopping or something will be happening. It's a going concern. Entity will continue for a foreseeable future. So the accounts have to be prepared considering the continuation of the business. The next is related to listed companies. Please write down where you have written IFCs. Please write down this point is related to listed companies. So the directors of listed companies has laid down internal financial controls और ये देखना है कि ये controls adequate है and अच्छे से काम कर. अब ये point है listed company से related. If you're a listed company, then different kind of financial controls are laid down. How we'll be maintaining or be managing the company, how the finances needs to be managed. Proper controls have to be made. So you have to report in the DRS that whether these controls are being followed properly or not, whether the steps are being taken to make sure that it is operating effectively. Okay. Whatever judgments, estimates that they have used, that should be prudent. It should be giving a true and correct picture. And the last point relates to legal system. So every company has a legal processes also, applicable rules and laws. जैसे हम law पढ़ रहे हैं, तो जो भी law के principles apply होने थे, क्या वो ढंग से adequately and effectively apply करे हैं या नहीं? So whatever legal compliance was required, have they followed it properly or not? So what are the 6 points? Quickly, let's revise. Accounting standards to be followed properly. If there is any deviation, material departures have to be reported. Accounting policies, whatever you have said, should be giving true and correct fair view and picture. Then, what is the third point? Whether there are adequate reports related to 3 points. Accounting records, proper accounting records, safeguarding of the assets, and prevention of the fraud. Then the next is going concern. Fifth point is related to children, listed or unlisted companies. Tell me. Fifth point is related to listed or unlisted companies. Listed companies. What is the point? Fifth point, listed companies. That is, all the internal financial controls that has been laid down is adequate and operating effective. And the last point is related to the legal system. Whatever legal system the company has set up, it is operating properly. Write down in the chat box summary of the 6 points. Fatapat say, what are the 6 points related to director responsibility statement? Very good. Very nice. So when you write, you learn and it gets fed over him. Excellent, children. All of you have written the correct points. So this is our board's report. This is the summary which we have already discussed. All these points to be included. Signing is also done. So let's try to do certain questions related to board's report so that the conceptual clarity is coming up. Modern Furniture Limited, a listed entity, has internal financial controls in place. A failure in control system has been reported. The controls were reinstated soon after such incident. Whether directors in DRS can state that the controls are adequate and operating effectively. Now, this illustration 5, they are basically trying to tell you the meaning of the word adequacy. Adequacy means the design of the control and system and telling whether it is in place and is fit for the purpose or not. It says 1 is the point which talks about adequacy. कि मतलब adequate है या नहीं. That means whether it is fit for the purpose or not. Second is operating effectively. एक होता है कि आपने कमरे में फर्नीचर लगाया, वो बैठने के लिए एडिक्वेट है या नहीं, स्पेन फिट हो रहा है या नहीं. एक है कि अगर आप उस पर बैठ रहे हो तो कंफर्टेबल है या नहीं, ऑपरेट ढंग से कर रहे हैं. सो एडिक्वेसी मींस हैविंग अ सिस्टम व्हिच इज फिट फॉर द पर्पस एंड ऑपरेटिंग इफेक्टिवली मींस मिटिगेटिंग द रिस्क. मींस ऐसा तो नहीं है कंपनी को रिस्क हो रहा है, आपके जो सारे अकाउंटिंग फैक्टर्स रिस्क वाले कवर हो रहे हैं. सो adequacy and operating effectively has to be read together. Here, the director says that they can't state that the controls are adequate. Here, what is happening? The directors and director can't state that the controls are adequate. Why? Because a failure has been reported. So it has to be read in totality whether it has been complied or not. So it will not be considered to be adequate and operating effective. Clear? And the last point is, what is the penalty related to section 134? If the company is in default, then 3 lakh rupees penalty and every officer will be liable to 50,000 rupees. Do we have imprisonment in this case? Do we have imprisonment if board's report is not made properly? No, ma'am, there is no imprisonment. Only 3 lakhs and 50,000 is the fine. Do we have imprisonment if financial statements are not prepared properly under 129? Yes, ma'am, there we have imprisonment of 1. ABC is a one-person company and has only one director. Who will authenticate the balance sheet and profit and loss account? In case of OPC, it will be signed only by one director for submission of reports. So financial statements will be signed by one director, will be in order. Important है ये चीजें. अब कॉमन सेंस का है, पता ही है कि ओपीसी में वन पर्सन ही होता है, तो वन पर्सन ही साइन करेगा ना. फिर भी ही इज गिविंग यू अ क्वेश्चन because we learn so much that there should be 2 directors, one is MD. But when the question comes related to one OPC, then it is one director. All right. Now let's try to do certain questions. Yes, Nidhi, what do you want to ask? You can write down. So the directors of Element Limited want to voluntarily revise the financial statements and have they approached you to tell them the provisions regarding the revision. Now, if the word voluntary revision has been written, which section will become applicable? Excellent, Harshada, Soumya, Anubhav, Sangeet, Vani, Almas, all of you, good. Miss P, Kirti, very nice. So here you simply have to tell them this is a direct, straightforward question. You will tell them that if there is any need of revision of 129 or 134 for the 3 previous financial years, you can make an application to the tribunal. Tribunal will send the notice to CG, IT authorities, and will take into consideration the representation and pass the orders. Number of time the revisions, only once in a financial year, this revision can be done, not that. So you can refer to these shorter points in my summary, which becomes easy for learning. Limits of the revision, where the copies have been submitted or delivered. Correction shall be in respect of the financial statements. Any consequential alteration, all these kind of revisions are possible. So this revision has to be disclosed. Framing of the rules by CG, any rules have been framed for the application will also be part of the revised financial statement. Nifara, we are not doing as of now. 135, we are not doing. Let me see what questions can be solved by you. All right. This is a test question. Everybody will read this question and frame the answer in the manner it should have been framed. Everybody will read it and write it in the chat box. Only 3 answers as of now. Very nice. Soumya, Nidhi, trying. Okay, good. Almas. So it says Yellow Limited has prepared its FS. Mr. Pratik, the director, is declining to sign these financial statements, saying that the board of the directors to sign the financial statements. Now, Pratik has approached you for asking his responsibility of signing the financial statements. Regarding his responsibility for signing, you are also provided the board as a policy does not authorize the chairperson to sign. The company has appointed Sunena as a company secretary. Now, what is happening? It's a clear-cut 3 to 4 marks question related to who is going to sign the financial statement. So I told you 134 deals with board's report, director responsibility statement, plus it also deals with a very important topic, that is signing of the financial statement. So the financial statements, including the consolidated, shall be approved by the board of directors. It shall be signed by the board chairperson and or by 2 directors. Whenever we talk about signing of financial statements, I told you it will be chairperson or 2 directors. It can be CEO, it can be CFO, or it can be CS. In case of OPC, 1 person. As per this question, board has not authorized the chairperson. So, आपको पहला line लिखा है ना, if authorized by the chairperson. He has not authorized. Hence, it will be signed by 2 directors. One of them shall be managing director. Pratik का तो पता है ये वो MD. So, you can mention that in addition to these 2 directors, CEO, CFO and CS can also sign. So, कोई problem ही नहीं. अगर सुनैना भी sign कर देगी तब भी ठीक है. One of the directors should be MD. Excellent answers, Jayendra, Julie, everybody. Harshita, Miss P. Excellent students. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Want to do one more question? Would you like to do one more question related to section 134, children? Tell me. All right, read this question carefully and solve it. Board of Directors consists Ghanshyam, Hyder, Director, Anderson, Managing Director. Also employed a full-time secretary. P&L and balance sheet was signed by Mr. Ghanshyam and Mr. Hyder. Tell about the authenticity of the financial statements, whether it is as per the provisions or not. I give you 2 minutes, answer it, hurry. Good. Pooja, Kirti, Sangeetvani, Harsh. Everyone has given the correct answers. So here the financial statements shall be approved by Board of Directors before they are signed by Board. Chairperson, if he so authorized, again the same point, CEO and CFO, Mr. Gansham and Haider are the directors. Mr. Anderson is the managing director. So either one of the managing director has to be there. So the company has employed, so he shall sign the balance sheet and profit and loss if it is not properly authenticated. Is that clear? So here, account has been signed by Gansham and Haider. One of the managing directors should have signed. Company has employed a full-time secretary also. So correct answer given by all of you. Miss P, Julie Kumari. Yes, I'm liking your points where you're giving the understandings and the provisions. Harshida, Mohammed Farhan. Very good, children. Very nice students. All right, let's move ahead with section 136 now. So this is your CSR, which we'll be covering in the next class. Try to do section, let's try to complete a small section. That is section number 136. So right of the members to get the copies of audited financial statement. Now, what is section 136 trying to tell you? Section 136, children, speaks about that once you have prepared the financial statements, the books, the board's report, everything is ready. Then you need to circulate the audited financial statements, CFS and audit report. All these things, copies have to be sent to every member, that is every shareholder, trustee of every debenture holder, any other person who is entitled to receive. Means आपने financials बना लिए, उनको audit भी करा लिया, आपका CFS भी ready है, audit report भी ready है. Don't you think आप members को दिखाओगे ये चीजें? It says section 136 talks about the right of the members. Members have full right to review these financial statements. So it is your duty of the company to send the audited financial statements, CFS, to every member, trustee of the debentures, and any other person who is entitled. This financial statements have to be sent at least 21 days before the general meeting. ये कहाँ पे पढ़ा हुआ है हमने बच्चा 21 days? 21 days before the meeting कहाँ पढ़ा है? Notice of the general meeting. 21 days. But clear days नहीं लिखा है इसने, सिर्फ 21 days before the general meeting आप इन सबको ये notice दे. Circulation of financial statements listed companies की केस में इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मोड से देना है आपको. Shareholders holding companies in demat form, shareholders not holding the shares in demat form, in writing they will receive it in the electronic. So they're just telling you the mode how the circulation has to be done, and it has to be done 21 days before the date of the meeting. It has to be sent. Is that clear? So these are the two important points over here. Circulation now. Another important point again, which is read. Yes, exactly 101 where you have read about the notice. And now you will be talking about the shorter period of the notice. This is also a repetition which you have studied in case of AGM, where the shorter notice was being sent in case of AGM. The circumstances where the less than 21 days notice can be served. When can you give less than 21 days? Same notice thing, same provisions are given over here. Number one, if the company is having a share capital, and number two, if the company is not having a share capital. If the company is not having a share capital, 95% of the total voting powers. If the company is having a share capital, then majority of the members should say yes, and 95% of the share capital. Let's assume the share capital of the company is 100 crore. And there are 200 members of the company. 95% share capital means 95 crores of the share capital is being held by 180 members. So 180 members says yes, and 95% of the shareholders. not 180, sorry, 80. 80 members have given their consent for a shorter period notice who are holding 95% of the share capital. Will it be considered a valid period? Can we give for the shorter period of 21 days? If the company is having 200 members and 100 crores is the share capital, if you want to send the circumstances where less than 21 days can be agreed, it is so if it is in case of company having share capital, if majority of the members are agreeing and they are representing 95% of the shares. Then 95% of the share capital plus majority. So if it is 80, then it is not correct. No, it is not correct. At least 101 members should agree and 95% of the shareholders. All right. Understood, children? So majority means more than 50% of the members should have said yes for this. Then only it will be considered a valid. After that, it all talks about in case of a listed companies, listed company के case में सब कुछ नहीं send करना है. What all needs to be sent has to be seen. Copies of the financial statements and other documents shall deem to stopping. My audible students? Copy of financial statements and other documents shall deem to be served if they are made available for inspection at RO during working days for a period of 21 days before the meeting. And in case of statement containing the salient features is sent to members, trustee of debenture holders at least 21 days. So it says for the listed company, all these documents shall be kept open for inspection. First provision is that all the FS, CFS, audit report, every document has to be given to the members. Second, it says has to be given to the member, trustee of debenture holders, and any other entitled person. Then it gives you the condition of timing. Okay, then it gives you the condition of timing, that when it has to be given, 21 days. Then it tells you the fourth point, when less than 21 days can serve the purpose. That is, if 95% of the total voting power, if company is having share capital, then majority should agree and 95% of the share capital. Now, the fifth point is dual majority has to be seen. Now, the fifth point is if it is a listed company, then the copy of documents shall be made available for inspection at least 21 days before the date of the meeting. Means किस दिन पहले आप उनको open रखोगे registered office में, anyone can come and check. Also, the financial statements are too heavy, so you have to give a summary, that is a salient features, जो summarized features होते हैं, जैसे हमने पढ़ा था AOC 1 में भी, silent features will be circulated among the members at least 21 days. Now here it will be circulated in AOC 3 form is to be used. All right, the silent features in the AOC 3 form will be used. Section 137 is very, very simple. It tells you what all financial statements, CFS and documents you have prepared. If it is adopted means if it is accepted in the general meeting, then please file it within 30 days of the AGM with the registrar. It says all the FS, CFS and other documents, AGM was held, you have accepted them at AGM, and now within 30 days you need to file it with the RC. If it is unadopted means accept nahi hue, ya fir adjourn ho gayi hai meeting, then it has to be filed within 30 days from the date, it has to be from the date in which the AGM would have been held. Further, in case of adjourned meeting, so you have adjourned the meeting, now it will be considered as to be filed within 30 days of the adjournment. मतलब जब meeting held हुई, मेरी 30th September को meeting हुई, मैंने financials meeting में रखे, general meeting में, it got accepted. Now 30 days from that date, so it is 30th October, you file it with us. They were not accepted, then file it within 30 days of the AGM, still a provisional record. Means a provisional, मतलब हमने ये draft बनाया था जी हमारी meeting adjourn हो गई है, but this is the draft that we have shown in the AG. And when it is adopted in the adjourned meeting, say for example, it was adjourned on 12 December. So by 11th January, you file it with the registry. This is the cases where AGM is held. Where no AGM is held, then the documents along with the reason of not holding the AGM has to be filed with the ROC within 30 days of the last day on which the AGM was supposed to be held. Is that clear, everyone? All right, Ms. P, no worries. So I hope you all have understood now that majority of point, right? Okay. So I think we have done good enough sections for today, starting from 129, 130, 131, 134 boards report, 136 as well as 137. We have just given it a quick review. So ma'am is also here with us. Very good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Arlene, ma'am. Good evening, students. So, ma'am, so students have learned from 128 to 137.
Yeah, but we have left 132 and 135, that is the FARA and CSR, which we are going to take up in the next session.
So, good evening, Ms. P. Good evening, Soumya. Good evening, students. Good evening, Nidhi. So, ma'am, can I just take a few questions?
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely.
Good evening, students. Good evening, Pooja.
All the best, kids. Do well.
Just a moment. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I am on mute and I'm speaking. Thank you. So I'm just sharing. So is my screen visible? So students, just do this question. And while you are doing this question, again the thing is same. I will ask any one of you to answer it this time. So I want all of you to attempt it. And then I can ask any one of you to give me the answer and you have to read aloud your answer. I hope it's visible to you. It's right now 8:23 and I am giving you around 4 minutes. Though it will take much more time, around 5 minutes or 6 minutes, but right now we are going it for 4 minutes. Students, are you done? So I will be just asking someone. Okay. Okay. So I am asking. Someone has raised hand. Who is the baby who has raised the hand? Okay. Okay. Anubhav Malik. Anubhav, unmute yourself. डरो नहीं अनुभव. अनुभव.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Is this Anubhav? Let me just see.
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Harsha. Okay. Anubhav, you lost the chance. You are not speaking. Harsha, is this you? No, I can't. Anubhav, I can't see you. Is this Anubhav?
Yes. Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Now I got it. Okay. Just read aloud your answer. Where are you, Anubhav? Anubhav, we are not able to hear you, beta.
Hello.
हाँ जी बेटा. Now we can hear you. बोलो बेटा. आपने जो लिखा है वो बस पढ़ के सुना दो हमको एक बार. Okay, I think some problem in Anubhav's mic. अनुभव चलो नेक्स्ट टाइम दोबारा पूछेंगे. हर्षदीप आप बोलो. हर्षदीप नहीं सॉरी हर्षदा. हर्षदा आप बोलो. My bad.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, beta.
Am
Good
I
evening.
audible? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you are. You are.
As per section 131, director can ask voluntary revision if it appears to the directors of the company that the financial statements are not comply with the provisions of section 129, or the reports of the board does not comply with the provisions of section 134. And here in this case, okay, as per the section 131, they can reopen the statements from last 3 years preceding financial years. In this case, CFO is asking to reopen the financial statements for the financial year 21-22, which is as per the provisions, and these are last preceding 3 years financial statements. So this is as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013.
ठीक है. Any other student who is willing to? No, I will ask. So I will ask Gotli Anil. Golti, sorry. Golti. Anil Golti. Anil, unmute yourself, beta.
Good evening.
Beta.
Hello.
No, beta, you are not audible. आपका भी माइक में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. तो नेक्स्ट क्लास से सबसे कोशिश करेंगे ऐसी जगह पे बैठने की जहाँ एंड में इफ वी आर आस्किंग समथिंग तो दे कैन आंसर. Okay. Chalo. The answer which Harsh, what was her name? Harsh. Okay. Answer what Harshada gave was correct. Can any one of you, if I see the question, let's see the question. So it said that ABC Limited Company is engaged in trading of chairs. They can, and they want, the new CFO wants to revise the financial statements pertaining to the year 21-22, and currently they are in the year 24-25. While I'm writing this answer, what Harshad gave was very nice, that she told that financials, she gave 2 points. That as per, first of all, she said that it is as per the provisions of section 131, and if it appears to the board of directors of the company that the financial statements do not comply with the provisions of section 129, or the report of the board do not comply with the provisions of section 134. That was like, she said it very correct. Then they can prepare that, what they can prepare is दो ही चीजों की बात हो रही है, एक financial statements की और दूसरी report of the board. So they may prepare the financial statements or the report of the board in respect of any of the 3 preceding financial years. But now comes the point what she missed was that for that they have to take the approval from the tribunal. अब अगर मुझे ट्रिब्यूनल से अप्रूवल लेनी है तो आई एम गिविंग देम द टाइम आल्सो. Within how many days they have to take the approval from the tribunal by making an application to the tribunal within 40 days, 14 days of the decision to be taken, that was taken by the board. Okay, so that you have to write. So Harshad, your answer was correct, but if like this is the question of the examination, okay, in one of the attempts this question, so you have to also write that the time period, that 14 days के अंदर जब बोर्ड ने डिसीजन दिया उसके 14 days के अंदर उन्हें ट्रिब्यूनल को अप्लाई करना है. बोर्ड एक और इसमें प्रोविजन है, छोटी सी लाइन है, जो अगर आप लिखोगे तो आपके आंसर को एनहांस करेगा. ये 14 डेज वाली लाइन तो आपको लिखनी ही लिखनी है, क्योंकि इसके ऊपर आपका ये पूरा प्रोविजन, जब हम अपना प्रोविजन लिखते हैं, जब हम आप लोगों से बोलते हैं ना कि आप प्रोविजन लिखो, तो ट्राई टू राइट मैक्सिमम ऑफ द प्रोविजन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि आपको सब कुछ पोर इन करके आना है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट जितना हो सके प्रोविजन को कंप्लीट लिखने की कोशिश करो. द सेकेंड पॉइंट इज कि आपकी उसमें एक सर्टिफाइड कॉपी की बात भी कही हुई है, मैम ने आपको पढ़ाया भी होगा, जिसमें आपका 30 डेज का टाइम पीरियड है. किस चीज के लिए है? कि जो ट्रिब्यूनल से कॉपी ऑफ ऑर्डर है वो 30 डेज के अंदर आपको रजिस्ट्रार से फाइल करें. Rest of the answer Harshad gave very correctly. That says this, it's Harshada. I'm sorry Harshada. So this answer is like, she gave the answer correctly, but she has to mention one more point. तो 14 days वाला, क्योंकि आपको अपील मतलब आपको करना है ट्रिब्यूनल को, वो 14 डेज के अंदर वो पॉइंट आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. हो सकता है एग्जामिनर, ये सबके लिए ही बता रही हूँ हर्षदा, इट इज फॉर ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स. हम आपके थ्रू बाकी बच्चों को भी बताते हैं, क्योंकि यू आर वन अमंग द स्टूडेंट्स, और बच्चों को समझ में आता है ओके दिस इज वेयर वी आर मेकिंग अ मिस्टेक. हो सकता है आपका पेपर में आपके मार्क्स 1 mark और 0.5 marks, आई एम नॉट कमेंटिंग हाउ मेनी मार्क्स, बट दैट कैन बी डिडक्टेड क्योंकि आपने प्रोविजन पूरा नहीं लिखा है. और अगर मान लीजिए क्वेश्चन 4 या 5 मार्क्स का है, yes Anil, yes it has to intimate CG, income tax authorities, that all is there. अगर हम मेन क्रक्स पे लिखें तो भी 14 डेज वाली बात लिखनी है, और कोशिश करो तो 30 डेज वाली बात भी आप लोग लिख सकते हो. And then that is very clear. If I have to write it in a simple language, I have to give the conclusion. Since the this financial statements were pertaining to within the time period of 3 preceding years, so they can apply to the tribunal and what? Get the financial statements released. So very nice. Even I want to know where I need to improve. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging this, Harshada. So I think today it's already 8:48. I will not take more questions as of now. I prepared some more for you. But in next class also, most probably I will be taking something related to writing part so that we can all work. Because this time you will be like, many students have told us. It has been before also, but because of this platform, we have come to know that students are facing problem basically with writing and they want to improve. So it's a good participation, and next time, please, at least in the last 10 minutes or in the initial 10 minutes, I will like all of you to sit at a place where if I ask you a question, you are able to answer. Okay? So with this, I will like to end today's session, and all of you kindly take the next session and prepare in a very good manner. So good evening from my side, and take care. Have a nice sleep. Stay calm और बहुत अच्छे से अपनी पढ़ाई कर. Okay? चलो, take care. Good night, बच्चों. Yes, over. Thank you. Thank you.